Actual action is by members of maritime unions working at ports owned by terminal operator DP World. Now, it started in October over pay and roster negotiations. The company says the strikes have led to a backlog of more than 40,000 containers right around the country, and it's costing the economy more than $80 million a week. Now, to help us understand all this a little bit more, Paul Zalai joins us from the Freight and Trade Alliance. Paul, good morning. How do these strikes impact businesses around the country, and how severe is that impact?
Look, it's devastating for importers in particular. As you said, it will lead to higher costs and delays. We've got a situation now where ships coming to Port Botany and scheduled to arrive here come to a congested port. As you said, there's tens of thousands of containers stranded at the port. They bypass ports like this, Port Botany, and will discharge cargo in other parts of the country. Importers then have to move the cargo back. Our exporters are even more impacted by this. The ships that they're expecting to take their valuable cargo to overseas markets just aren't arriving. And if they do, they're so flat out discharging imports that they move on again in many cases without accepting the export cargo.
Gee, Paul. So people around Australia, we know it's well documented, are strapped for cash at the moment. This is going to push costs up even further.
Look, it is, and I think not just the immediate issue we've got now, I think it's going to create a long-term problem for us. We've got similar enterprise agreements being negotiated with the other stevedores. That's all going to take place next year. And importers are going to have a look at this situation. They're going to go, you know what, we can't rely on a just-in-time inventory. We're going to need to stockpile goods on shore here because we don't know if we're going to have our cargo stranded. That's going to put a pressure on warehousing facilities. That's going to come at an additional cost. And we hear all the talk and the mantra about attacking cost of living pressures. Well, here's a starting point that the government should look at. We need our gateways to our nation open.
Yeah. Paul, just quickly, what sort of businesses are we talking about? Who's most affected by this?
Look, it's everybody. You know, you talk about, say, the small importer. It might be a supplier to a major retailer, like a David Jones or a Myers, someone like that. They're left without business. They're now resorting to air freight to meet contractual arrangements. But that's just one example. This does not discriminate. Anything that's moved in containerised cargo, whether it's pharmaceuticals, building materials, food, you name it, it will be affected. Yeah. So again, on the export side of things, we're talking about, you know, even our friends in Tasmania, they have to come through the Port of Melbourne. They're being affected. Fish meal markets that's produced there. We've got our grape growers out of the Murray-Darling, if they're not flooded. They've got a peak time now. Wine out of the Riverina, pulses and lentils and the like out of Toowoomba, grains out of WA, everybody.
Yeah, it affects every part of Australia, doesn't it? And a port blockage is a big problem for the country. Paul, thanks very much. All the best. Here's Mom.
Thanks, Beretta.